So a while back, our boy Jordan from Drop Rate clued us in on Keymailer, and since then we've been getting a bunch of keys for games from developers, and recently one came through that caught my eye. Needless to say, we received this game for free, compliment of the developer, so keep that in mind going forward. Blood Waves is a third-person, wave-based zombie horde game with some slight tower defense mechanics. I knew nothing about this game, but I saw it was available on the Switch, and it seemed to make sense. A nice little quick game of a couple waves seemed like a perfect fit for a portable console. Unfortunately, that didn't really turn out to be the case. And this is where we'll begin. Not to say it's necessarily a bad thing, but quick is not really a word I'd use to describe Blood Waves. Every round, including the very first one, just seems to overstay its welcome. This makes getting into a good run a daunting task, as the time it takes to get to the point in the game where you're making enough money to buy the various weapons and traps is a considerable investment. This could be vastly improved by simply giving the player more money per round. I found myself sacrificing buying new weapons just so I could either refill my current ammo supply or save up for a trap the next round. The traps are your standard tower defense affair, and you're able to build or repair them before starting a new round. Repairing costs more money, but I was never given the opportunity because by the time I had enough money to buy a trap, the zombies were too powerful or numbersome, and the trap wouldn't even last until the end of the round before it was destroyed. I even saved over the course of 3 rounds to buy a trap that was immediately destroyed by a zombie with a bomb in its head upon touching it. There are various upgrades for your weapons and character, but again, these took quite a bit to unlock and didn't really seem to make much of a difference anyway, since they were mostly passive and stat-based. There was really only one upgrade I cared about, and we'll get to that in a bit. Aside from these complaints, it's a fairly competent shooter of its type. I didn't get to try out some of the more expensive traps, weapons, or upgrades, but I also found myself enjoying wrangling the zombies around the map and figuring out the best way to eliminate the giant group that had accrued. I could see this getting very repetitive as the game goes on, however. Speaking of, as time goes on, more powerful zombies with unique abilities appear, so you have to strategize and figure out the best way to find openings to dispose of these quickly. Like I said, I didn't really get a chance to see what the game all offered, but I liked this, even if it was pretty much standard fare. Health drains pretty quickly, but I didn't find that to be much of a problem since it's pretty easy to sprint away through an opening to regain some distance and find safety. With an upgrade, your health also regenerates, so I never really felt too overwhelmed during my playthrough. The presentation of the game does fall a bit short. The anti-aliasing leaves a lot to be desired, but I did play on the Switch, so there's not much to expect there. The zombies are very bland, with basically 2 basic models save for the special types. Animations are fine enough, but can get a bit wonky. I had many instances of zombies flying around or getting stuck in the air. There's only one level, and it's basically just a circle with a couple doors and pillars. The main character looks fine, but she's a little too Lara Croft, if I'm honest. Actually, come to think of it, the game seems to take place in a tomb of some sort, so let's just move on. My major gripe with this game, or at least its Switch port, since I can't really speak for the other versions, is the controls. For some reason, the game defaults with this camera smoothing option enabled and cranked all the way up. I don't really know what this is supposed to add, since seemingly all it does is add latency to your aiming and make the character and camera point nowhere near where you're actually trying to. Turning it all the way off is better, but then it just becomes a jittery mess. It took me a little while, but I eventually found a sweet spot, even if it was still pretty hard to actually shoot on target. I only got to Wave 8 before my girlfriend stepped in front of the TV and I was blindsided, but I didn't really feel the desire to start another game at that point. I might revisit this one day and see how far I can get without interruption, but honestly, I wouldn't bet on it. It's 2 out of 5.
Fuck you.
Well, don't step in front of the TV.
Well, you didn't sound very, it seemed urgent.
I was focused.